Yeah. Hello, everyone. Wow. Let's get started. Oh, not like that, though. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Hello, everyone. I'm your beloved commander, and oh my god, do I got some things to talk about. Let's get started, cause oh yeah, ah, I I'm currently not in a good mood. Now I'm gonna be real. You normally think, oh, the commander is not in a good mood. When am I ever in a good mood? All the time, right? So I'm gonna give some life advice. I know a lot of y'all people like wondering, like, oh my god, what happened recently to your Twitter/X? Right, what happened, Commander? It's because y'all don't know what happened. So, yeah, General Giga, someone in her community, falsely reported my Twitter/X. It's been temporarily closed off for about 12 hours, so I can't post anything. Thanks a lot, Giga. You certainly are a dame, aren't you? You're not even a dame. You're just a bitch. You're a bitch, okay? So I ended up talking about, VTuber live stream rules. So let's get started on this one, right? Because Upper Echelon, I'm ripping off the Band-Aid. I'm ripping off the Band-Aid. I'm done. I'm done playing nice with these people. Done playing by their rules. I'm done with so much shit. I am done with their shit. I really am. I'm done playing nice. I'm done playing nice with them. Oh my god, the amount of patience and time that I had to play nice with these assholes. Like, y'all think I'm a motherfucking asshole. Y'all think I'm one. I'm not. Yeah, I get angry because I'm human. But, y'all need to understand, I tried playing nice with these people, and I'm fucking done with it. I'm fucking done playing nice and being fair. I'm done. I had it with them. They're so disgusting. What do I mean? Context is needed, I guess, huh? With the internet. Context is needed. I will bring up a separate window, right? Because I'm going to be real, my Twitter/X got falsely reported. Now, this is not the first time this has happened. Now, this usually falls under the Twitch apocalypse theory, right? So, I'm going to be real. Hold on, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to have to move my setup. And I'm going to be mentioning this, trying to be as direct as possible. Fuck these people. They are not people. They are not. They're barely even human. No, they go off like, oh, we're nice, we're humble, we're good people. No, you're not. No, they are not. Oh my god. I've seen nicer people in a rat maze. Now, I cannot share, I can't do anything on my live streams here on the platform right now. So, as you see, all this is locked away. No tags, no reposts, no nothing. What happened? Oh, wait a minute, I forgot it's not active. Okay, so, let's take a look. So, as you can see right now, what has happened? This is just for context, what has happened. Recently, my account got locked for 12 hours. Now, I'll get into that in a minute. You see, boom, 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 boom. It all got locked. Now, who locked it? Right, so, I did one post, like General Giga, and I had to delete it. It was the one above this one. It was deleted. Now, General Giga, someone in our community, reported it. What was it about? Well, one, it was her going to supposed Brazil. She wasn't in Brazil, she wasn't there. And I have a problem with her, I really do. I really do. I think she's a horrible person. I think she should not be talking about other people's happiness and health and just appreciation for one another. Because when she lets her team and her community obviously silence someone on a platform that is meant to express yourself, then you got a problem. Then you got a problem. You're supposed to be able to express yourself here. And my problem with her is, yet again, she should not be talking about people's happiness and relationship when she doesn't have one in the first place. Or she's never experienced one. Now I know the said can be the same about me, right? You've never had one, Commander. You never experienced one. Then why do you talk about it? Because, one, I've helped other people with their own kind of like obvious issues with their own life, obviously relationships, and help them with it. Ego doesn't do that. Now, of course, I've made a platform where I can express myself by keeping out harassment. It's how I'm able to talk about my weaknesses, things like obviously what's wrong with the world, what's messed up with it, why people are the way they are, and why they don't accept responsibility. So this is not the one beforehand, but this is when I saw a video of her like mentioning like obviously people's relationships, you know, and how she God, how she feels like on relationships. I saw another thing about that and it really did piss me off. So yeah, no, she knows how to piss people off on her own platform and puts on a lot of disingenuous hate upon the rest of us. And when General Giga is also responsible for spreading the hate amongst the other VTubers on the platform, then you got a problem. You know, she takes shots at relationships. She takes shots at obviously what is right and wrong. What she thinks is like, when it comes to love, how obviously like men need to, oh my god, she just comes off like a horrible dominatrix, and I hate that shit. Really do. You know? So the whole thing is, yeah. Then I said I'm ripping off the band-aid. First of all, warnings. I said here, obviously, like, start your VTuber journey, like, you need a certain amount of money, you need a steady form of income, and even more so, like, the upper echelon rules fall on the old school ways of live streaming. Now, I can't post anything for a good 12 hours because what General Giga has done and how I do not respect this woman. I never really respected her or liked her. I think she's an asshole. No, I believe she's an asshole. And she does not care about anyone other than herself. Doubt she even cares about her own community. She doesn't do what is needed of her and her position on the table. So you know what? Darling, you don't deserve anyone, you don't need anyone. Your own words, you don't need anyone unless they're your servant. Yeah, you're fucked up. So, these are the actual hardcore, like, professional rules of the upper echelon when it comes to VTubing. I'm going to be real. This is no joke. Have a steady default income. I mentioned that. Live streamer experience. You have no live streamer experience, you know, like, there you go, yeah, just leave them alone, abandon them. Art making experience. My art is getting better from my Vroid models and my comics, so I am finally getting that experience. Decent form of human communication capabilities. I've never really had that. So I'm going to be creating, like, obviously, something on my live streams very soon. Of like how y'all can communicate with me, stuff like that, you know, treat me with respect, because a lot of people just don't know how to do that anymore. Either from what has happened to their lives or what they allowed to happen to their lives. It's truly tragic. Low expectations. Yeah, that is a must when you're a live streamer. Big dreams. Also default must. Self-destructive personality or the memes. That's the thing with VTube. That is the saddest thing. That's one of the upper echelon's rules. The rules, you have to have a self-destructive personality. I hate that. I hate that they're like this. I hate they think that this gets shit done and brings entertainment. I think that is so self-destructive of them. A form of obvious friendship or already existing with an already existing VTuber. Or really a popular, like, live streamer. I've never had that. You know, I don't have that. I hate that. I hate that's how VTubing is built. Lines and plates to our stable system. Oh my god, I messed that one up. Thanks a lot, cell phone. Video editing style and capabilities. Meaning that you gotta know how to create videos. You know, you gotta edit them, you'll be able to create them, port them over, all that kind of stuff. Understand, and you'll always be alone. This is one of the rules of the upper echelon. Believe it or not, when you're a beginning VTuber, right, I want to say for at least 3 to 5 years, you are alone. They won't touch you. They won't see you. They won't talk to you. They won't be with you. They won't waste their time with you. They won't collab with you. They won't do anything. You'll waste your time, and they'll waste yours, and they'll waste yours. Everyone will waste their time there. Let's put it that way. Now, a deep expectation of the obvious while knowing that no one cares. While knowing no one cares. Yeah, you're gonna have to be an acceptance of the obvious and know that nobody's gonna care about you on the platform. Whether you're big or small or medium, nobody really cares about each other on the platform. We're not a community, we're a platform, and General Giga is one of the people on the upper echelon table that make these rules, along with most of them are reflected of the old school streamer ways. Before, I think it was like 2015. You know, so they have built a rule system that is meant to fail. In the long run, and you're on your own, nobody cares in the community, nobody wants to think that they all think you're better than they are. Basically saying, expect them to everyone to tell you, yeah, we're better than you. You know, like, you're smaller than us, you don't have a larger crowd, we're better than you, you know, we are tougher than you, we're more popular than you, we're more successful, we're more talented, we got more money, you know, we got products, we got this, we got that, and they're always going to hold that over your head. They will always hold that over your head. You know, every one of the popular ones will. They will, and they'll continue to do so. They'll even step on your career to get to the top. Meaning that they're brutal, they're ruthless, they're heartless, and today that's what General Giga did and her team. They decided to step on the small guy. Decided to step on my career and disrespect me, darling. Grow the fuck up. Be responsible and assume responsibility for your life for once in your selfish, miserable existence. You know, she has a mentality, the strong that devours the weak. That's her lifestyle. That's a lot of female VTuber lifestyles that are in big leagues. The strong devours the weak. That's the mentality they have. They're entirely weak and pathetic because of it. You know, and the only one you rely upon yourself is anyone else, because yourself to them. Anyone else is just a body pillow to throw away on the VTuber platform. All the VTubers on the platform, you're just a soak wet body pillow by the end of the day, and they throw you away. My best advice to everyone, being a VTuber is not worth it. For your own mentality sake and just precious time, make sure you already have a relationship. Make sure you already have a stable relationship with someone you love. Because in the long run, VTubers, like people like me, and that have no one to back them up, no one to help them, no one to be that emotional support, no one to let you know everything's gonna be okay, you're gonna be all right, you know, and no one to, oh God, no one to support you. I have no one to support me, you know, in my life. I'm sure you knew that, Giga. I'm sure you knew that, right, you dumbass bitch? Doesn't really matter. It's her. It's the platform's fault for not making actual legit rules. Those are the rules they have. They're all seriously disgusting. They're horrible. They don't work. They're meant to obviously have people fall apart and fail. That is the upper echelon's rules. They're assholes. I should be seen as them. So, yeah. I do not care for the upper echelon. I do not care about their rules. I am no longer going to play nice by them. I'm going to do everything I can to get to the top. Why? Because fuck them. They're pathetic. Their rules are for the weak. I'll do what I want, where I want. I don't care about the rest of the VTubers anymore. They can all burn in hell. They don't deserve my time, my effort, or even my skill set whatsoever on fixing their shit. They're on their own. I'll make things my way. I'll do it my way. Now, recently on my Vroid site, of course, I'm going to go to my characters. Recently, y'all may have saw some other posts. We're going to have this load up. Internet's being rather slow with Pivx.net and stuff. I don't know why. Hold on. I think I may know what it is. I think... Oh my god, what is happening with Vroid? So it's not only Vroid, it's Pivx.net. They are, oh my god, they are loading really slow lately, and it can't really be helped. Something is happening with like both these sites, so I do want to touch on my Pivx.net because they're both lately running really slow loading times. You know, meaning that there's some type of platform update that's going across. I don't know what's going on with. But everything is really slow with these two sites, and they play hand in hand with each other. So we're actually going to be, first of all, we're going to start off with these two. So I made Project Melody a while back, but now she's public, and I ripped away any heart and soul Project Melody attached to it. Meaning like, now this is the melody I created. Nobody else can have it. Nobody deserves it. Not even the famous freaking Project Melody. I'm going to make sure she'll never get this. Or malware. My malware and the Evolve Evolution, I removed any forms of traces of the original Project Melody's content from it. Literally ripping the heart and soul of Project Melody away. Even her more one-winged angel form, that is going to be like one of the main villains in the upcoming story. I've also uploaded the original Devon Lionheart. I uploaded my Ultima form, Mega form, and they have finally got the stats upon them, of course. This one's had it for a while, and this is my Mega form, so I need to go to my Eternal form. There it is, Eternal form. I recently uploaded this one along with the Golden form. You know, obviously. And you have the stats and the multipliers, of course, and all that kind of stuff. All is there, and the 7 treasures that allows me to go into my Ultima form here. Now, y'all may notice something about the Ultima form. It's really basic because there's not much I would have to explain. I achieved infinite power. This is the obviously number for infinite power for less than 3 hours, of course. Now, everything is at infinite other than intelligence. Now, the greatest power comes with the greatest responsibility. Do not pass your limits, or if you do, grants you the angel that grants you your power inside will turn upon patience. Meaning that if I go past the 3 hours, the angel will take over and end up taking all of existence away because of their sins, their actual real world equivalent of sins. Anybody that has had any type of sin against another living creature will be annihilated. Now, this is Honoka. I recently made her own character. Going forward. As you see, Honoka is very cute when she loads, and you know. Now check this out, right? Very cute Vroid model. This is Honoka. She's going to be in the blue position of the game, and it reads, "Hello, my name is Honoka. I was obviously I was created obviously by the goddess of justice and harmony. After a legendary betrayal by Projekt Melody, the VT clone of Projekt Melody, the clone of her obviously traits are as the original. She was implemented to the team obviously to bring great harm, distrust, dismay along with the team. Now this is due to everything I've learned about Projekt Melody and how horrible a person she is. We'll also go into that in a bit. Thanks to me, this did not come to be me. Yeah, as I was created, obviously destroy the Projekt Melody clone and take her obviously digital powers for myself. Meaning that she's going to end up destroying the Projekt Melody clone and taking her cybernetic, obviously digital powers as her own. The goddess entrusts me, obviously, the evil, take care of the, obviously in the last position, entrusts me to, obviously, this is supposed to take down the obvious evil in the last position. I'm going to have to fix it later. Even more so, everyone's safe from any more lies or manipulation. My job is to obviously put down the for clones to make sure the universe will finally have justice for all. Her 3 weapons. I decided to add a new weapon, and I'm going to go with a different conformer, or a different, kind of like giant shuriken. I call them conformers. So we have the Cyber Wind conformer, meaning that, the former conformer will eventually get broken in a battle and she'll get a new one. Heaven's Harp is that guitar you see in the art, of course, and on Twitter/X if y'all can see it. And Cyber Tetsaiga. There will be a cybernetic katana of Tetsaiga from Inuyasha. Unlike Projekt Melody, I like taking long walks on the beach. I obviously like spending time with my friends. Found out Melody doesn't have much friends because she doesn't company, and she finds herself very superior. Obviously, loving and supporting people around me. I obviously have a good personality. My favorite meals are actually really unique, so we go over favorite meals. Her favorite drinks: Galaxy Cola X, Raspberry Nebula Tea, Lemon Raspberry Smoothies with a bit of Nebula Whiskey. My favorite desserts are Red Velvet Cake, Raspberry Sherbet Ice Cream, and just those on those cold winter nights, sitting down with a cup of cocoa. Some of my friends I keep close and dear. I truly appreciate what they obviously have. To understand my problems is Lionheart. That's who I am. He listens to me no matter. He listens to you no matter what, and problems are. I'm so glad to have such a good friend. Ashi can be a bit obsessed. He looks like she is a good girl. Heck, at times she's a pretty good to play video games with, but she's not bad. She's just a little bit obsessed about what she wishes she could have. Grandmaster Squall. Although he can be a bit rough around the edges, he's a good man. Him and the commander, obviously me, always used to butt heads. But they're more of the same these days. The head battle constructor, Zeldanaj. He's not good a battle constructor, but even obviously, he's Zeldanaj not a good battle constructor. I didn't know obviously how to fight. It wasn't for him. If it wasn't for him, first time I ended up fighting ended obviously hitting my own head with my own cyber conformer. Being that the first time she threw the new conformer, it came around and bonked her on the back of the head. And so kind of like had to be like, oh, don't worry, Dame. I got you. Here, let me show you how to wield that thing. Zell would go like that as a battle constructor. I'm. Oh my god. He's the head battle constructor, and I kind of made it sound like he's not good at his job. I'm gonna have to fix that later. Finally, I want to go out and. Finally, I go out and see Lady Yuna. Every once in a while, she gets a little lonely, and at the same time, she's a good woman. Lady Yuna's from Final Fantasy X and X2. Zell and Squall are from 8. And Ashi and myself are from my own Final Fantasy story. This is her stats in her human cyber form. Here are my battle stats. I hope you enjoy. Level 100, hip 99, MP 99. Like, everything's maxed out, basically. Really, really nice. I like what I did for her human form. But her Cyber Angel form has the potential for infinite power while also having infinite power in certain places. I will be going over that very, very soon. Now, so, Honika M. Serena Battle Angel form. Behold the power of the perfect Battle Angel. My cybernetic powers surpass all. All forms of attack, no matter the defenses, can't hold back the damage I get and output. Meaning she ignores normal defenses when she's fighting an enemy, or abnormal defenses, meaning that if you have some type of defensive force field or rough skin, her attacks are always going to hit with the normal capability of damage. Now, this form, I obviously gain energy or existing near that of digital data that I absorb it and gains new forms of power and control. Every time more data is absorbed, the power increases immensely. This is why I do not like using Google Docs most of the time for my content. I writ this down in Google Docs with talk to text. It fucked up. I really do not like it. But a lot of people on the internet are very, very picky and selfish, and they want me to be so accurate. It's so horrendous. And yet when I do try to come off accurate enough to please you retards, comes off like this. And then I have to go on there and do grammar checks manually, because the grammar checks online don't get shit done. But this is what you want, don't you? Assholes. My energy output literally comes out of cybernetic energy of the digital world and plane of existence. As long as it exists, my power potential becomes infinite. Wherever I am on the planet, if planet that has a digital plane of existence, meaning that if there's a digital plane of existence or attached to like data or the digital computer networks or whatever, she can absorb more digital data to become more stronger. Here are my current assets. I hope you enjoy. The level is infinite, hip, HP. You got the attack plus, you got the defense plus, you have the magic plus, the defense plus, and she'll be the only character with infinite intelligence. Now, the X stands for infinite potential, meaning that she can have the potential to make this infinite with enough digital data into her systems or being. Finally, you get what she doesn't like. The things I do not enjoy and hate. I do not enjoy people, seeing other people at times. Like, seeing other people at times. Oh my god. I hate Google Docs. It's supposed to be seeking other people's popularity. Meaning that, obviously, yeah, she doesn't like it, other people stealing other people's popularity or content for themselves. Assholes, I admit, but there's like a right way to do it and a wrong way, and she doesn't like the wrong way. So, it's supposed to be seeking other people's popularity, and that failed. Or what is supposed to be wasting other people's. Oh my god, it's wasting other people's. I hate docs. It's very precious to them. I mean, that's all supposed to be one sentence. wasting other people's time. I'm gonna fix that later. I do not enjoy selfish, bratty people that obviously think they're better than someone else. I will show y'all from that information I got on Project Melody why she comes off so selfish and bratty, as you'll get my thoughts on it. I certainly do not enjoy the O's who think harassing people who gets anything done. You know, basically saying she doesn't like people that harass other people because it brings them some great sense of pleasure, meaning that she doesn't like harassers and criminals. And if anybody abuses their power, their beauty, and their authority, I truly do hate them with a burning passion. A lot of female VTubers use their models and abuse their design and beauty and cause a lot of legit controversy for other legit live streamers. I kid you not. Giga does that. And she falsely reported my Twitter/X because she didn't want to face the truth. Congratulations, sweetheart. You're an asshole. The betrayals of the human heart is beyond unforgivable to her. Meaning that anybody that lies, deceives, hurts somebody's feelings or emotions, she'll never forgive. She'll hate you to your dying days, and even more so, she'll just want you gone. Meaning like this is a battle angel of the heart and justice. This is Honoka M. Serena. The original feeling for the character was supposed to be an evolution of the Project Melody clone, but I ripped that away. And rightfully so. I want her to be her own character. Now, obviously, a lot of things have been updated across the board, including that the original Devon Lionheart has been uploaded. Now, when you upload like V-Roid models to this site, everyone, that means obviously your design, it's your design, you own it. The watermark on said design is permanent, meaning that the logo, the watermark, the person that created the model, it's yours. It belongs to you. It's under your right and your protection. Meaning that if anybody takes it and uses it against your will or wishes, will get copyright claim harder than obviously that of probably Project Melody breaking people's hearts. In other words. So yeah, let's go back to my Twitter/X. So there's a previous post I will have to go over, as it had Digidex's overall like information back before Elon Musk kind of like bought Twitter. So I was definitely like right after the Project Melody post, so I'm gonna have to find that. Here it is, Digidex. Okay, so you're gonna have to obviously. Oop. Yeah, as you all can see, like everything's on lockdown. That's what General Giga has done, and he is truly, truly a horrible person. I do not. Me literally is just saying something sweet and saying goodbye to her. I don't think she's gonna take that as any form of kind. I don't think Project Melody knows what kindness is. I really don't. Laptop broke. Go. Where the heck did that post go? Okay, hold on everyone. Like, I'm going to go into my history, right? Because Yeah, Project Melody may be able to remove that post on Twitter/X, but I can find the original link in my history to it from the site. I'm sure that's worth it to you, Dame. You know, I'm sure that makes you look like very capable. Hiding your sins like that. Here we go. So this is before Elon Musk got a hold of Twitter and make it like the cavalcade it is as X. So this is what we're going over. This is Digidex's previous statement when he used to be Project Melody's manager. Now, as I read this, I actually ended up finding out a lot of information. Let's go over this. My statement on Melody's incident leaving in 2020. So this is when they kind of like part ways. Today I'm only sharing my experiences with Melody. Being at the end, I wanted to share this. Since a week since the incident, I am trying to sort things directly through Team Melody. I may have waited too long to get to the truth, but here's everything that I know that has happened. One, Team Melody doesn't exist. There's Project Melody, there's one artist, and then there's her manager. That's it. There's no science team. Just a group of 3 people that run everything, and her 2 moderators. It's more like just a little type of cohesive group of friends that are not technically normally a team. This is the long read, so I'll break it up into categories. It's easier to handle for the context, including that of taming what is not included. A Project Melody statement changes some things. One, this was removed off the Twitter/X Project Melody, as she didn't want any bad information to become of light of what she has done. This is a woman that does not want to assume responsibilities for her action. Now, I admit what I'm doing here is bringing up an old wound, but even more so, it's kind of needed for a lot of people to have great context of who really Project Melody comes off to be. My conversations with DMs Melody goes back months of 8 to 30 direct messages a day. There is a lot of time. Let me know. Lots to go over as far as paint a full picture. First time before I want to make this clear. IFU, if GIGA never had my issues with Melody being between me and Melody only. So I don't know who that is, but that's Giga right here. So they never had any beef him and Giga, but I have with Giga. I never had anyone at Giga's hard feelings, but what happens besides myself? FYU never involved from the start and hasn't talked to Melody. Meaning that obviously somebody back in the early days never really liked Melody and never wanted to talk to her, meaning that right there that should show like Giga and Melody must have some tight-knit relationship of being like complete degenerate a-holes in some things. Second thing, Melody work is not contracted. Now, what does that mean by contracted? One, this means it wasn't contracted by Vsojo in the normal sense. She wasn't under contract. Meaning that if she wasn't under contract with Vsojo in the first place, means she was one of the core founders, and she didn't have to be in contract in the business. Third, I do not intend to dox Melody or even that of the idea to hold her character model for ransom. Now, when the thing happened of obviously with like Melody's original model, Melody went out of her way saying, yes, he was holding it for ransom. Yes, he was doing this and that. But right here, this kind of really just throws that out of the water. And recently, Melody's actions speak louder than words. Larry's saying that she has gone out of her way to obviously make sure or that she doesn't have to assume her rest of her live stream responsibilities and totally resume their responsibilities where they can, where they have to can, and show it, and it be where obviously people do love and enjoy them. It shows a level of deep depravity a lack their responsibility and individuality and capability of functioning. Meaning that Melody, for some reason, refuses to change or even that improve herself in several fields. And she rather blame others for illegitimate reasons like this. The character model was never or even discussed. Meaning that I remember the incident that Melody said, no, we did discuss about it several times. You told me it was okay. Yet he said it's not that there was no discussions. So there's a woman literally saying there was discussions, and the guy saying there's not, that created the model in the first place. What's happening? I need y'all to understand, when it comes to women and when there's stuff they want, they're willing to lie and deceive to get it. All the time. That is a woman's MO, and the internet kind of really falls in place with them. Because male VTubers dominated the field, and male VTubers are on the rise. At this point in time, she brought up doxing, and I flat out told her I was not doxing her. I remember what she called was doxing. That wasn't doxing. As a matter of fact, Digidex never doxed her. As a matter of fact, I truly do believe what I remember seeing back then is Melody was never doxed. She insinuated doxing to get that brownie points on the internet. My last interaction with Melody had complicated two people with her identity responded to me. A lot of development and discussion took place in their DMs, oftentimes confusing who I was with both those people with different personalities due to some response reading the situation were very weird. You know what that means? It means Projekt Melody has probably have a split personality disorder, meaning that she's not taking her medications for a split personality disorder. That says a lot, but if somebody usually has a split personality disorder, it's either due to that of a medical history or some form of personal medical field or some type of dramatic event in their life that has them split them apart between two versions of themselves. Meaning that malware and Melody must be a split personality disorder. That's fucking great. Yeah. So sometimes talking about what I felt like Melody. And then there was at times discussion that got very coy and suspicious responses. Let's take that in effect. Coin's suspicious responses. Coy means obviously, like, oh, I get it, don't worry, I get it, ha 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 ha, like she's being very coy. That also comes off like, haha, I get it, yeah fam, yeah, I hear you, no worries, I get it. That literally comes off very bratty and suspicious, and is willing to obviously just lie and deceive to get what they want. At times I had to ask both these people to tag their responses, or I'll get confused and misunderstand. Meaning that due to Melody's actions, he had to go with the other two people to try to get a read of what she was coming off like and how she was coming off like. Meaning that they weren't willing to do that either. They stopped doing things distolerated and making more confusing. Disturated and confusing, meaning that they didn't want to come to his defense. Instead, they just were on Melody's side because, like, oh, famous Cyber Oshi and the hentai, and obviously doing some very lewd sexual things is very, very interesting. We're also going to go to that in a minute. It should come to no surprise. There are internet personalities, celebrities, and anyone that influenced them has a management team using their social media to respond to things. However, the DMs with Melody were too conductive work, and I feel like the gap in personality and background traits are misunderstandings in terms of the feelings of the situations, a lack thereof a proper tone, meaning that Projekt Melody does not handle her own posts online. As a matter of fact, everything that was probably in that supposed post that I saw of her return was on her team, not her, and she's not willing to obviously engage her audience on anywhere else unless it's a lewd site, or back in the day when it was on Twitter/X, and Twitch TV, So I truly do feel like Projekt Melody has this great lack there of understanding of how important her image is, and is not caring about the people that actually watch her content. Even more so, her recent decision reflects that. These people talked to me from the start, before Melody went public, and the misunderstandings they grew. Meaning that Melody let these people handle it. It was mishandled, and more than likely Projekt Melody wanted it to be mishandled. Meaning that she lied, she deceived, and she obviously manipulated her supposed team members, or her team members were okay with manipulating this person and hurting them going forward. Fan-fucking-tastic. You definitely show you're very responsible, right, Melody? Right? You make the right decisions, right? Right? No, you can't. You can barely even think, let alone make the right decision. What the fuck is wrong with you, lady? Melody is early's development. I met Melody through DeviantArt. Oh, shit. Okay, I want to talk about my own experience about DeviantArt, because, like, I saw all this, and this is my genuine response as well, doing a second react. Melody was on DeviantArt? Okay, I'm gonna be real, like, a lot of ladies on DeviantArt are so freaking unstable, they even make, obviously, Chibi Doki make sense. I'm not freaking kidding on that. I'm not... Do y'all know how unhinged a lot of female women on DeviantArt are? You know how lying, manipulative, and conniving a lot of women... I would have to say, literally, that of 95% of all women on DeviantArt they are abysmally crazy. Right? Oh my god, they're the worst type of women to ever try to get involved with. You know, and my DeviantArt was deleted due to an incapability to handle a lesser situation due to doxing due to Melody's popularity. Meaning that, oh yeah, no. Like, I've already been doxed to hell and back. You think that's gonna fucking scare me, you little bitch? Go ahead, dox me. Go ahead, come after me. You know, do whatever you want to do. I'm not afraid of being doxed, you little whore. You know, and moving on. It was on DeviantArt where I was contacted representing Melody, and I call this person her manager. When I contacted Melody, I also a broken TDA edit model of 30 to 40 followers on Twitch. I had no idea they intended to make a projected realistic, meaning that this was against the artist's wishes. Meaning that he created a model the way it was supposed to be, and due to Melody wanting to make it more interactive and lewd, it was against the artist's wishes. Now, if it's normally against the artist's wishes, you don't do anything with it, and you don't obviously change anything with it against the artist's wishes. Melody did that, literally meaning that she obviously broke, she broke artists' Vtuber rules and requests. If an artist requests, hey, don't do anything with the model, then you don't do anything with the model. When you do so, it pisses them off. They have the right to take it away from you, and the content surrounded around it. Usually how it works. At one point in time, I think in Live 2D was their plan with the cam girl, or maybe it was a joke. I set on an idea of taking Projekt for about 2.5 months for at least 3 reasons. It's a hentai, and I wanted to make sure it involved the scale that a Projekt Melody's manager researched to make the model alone. Meaning that, yeah, not since like he couldn't do this, Melody had somebody else do it for him and violated his trust. I was busy working on other projects. I don't know who these people are, and I have nothing to show for them, and they have nothing to show for themselves. Meaning, like, the people that changed up the model against the original artist's wishes have no presence, no image, no characteristics, no history in the VTubing scene. When they did this with the original Melody 3D model, they did it anyways against the artist's wishes because they couldn't fill the demand, and even more so, This guy deserves some sense of, like, obviously credibility for his work and what Melody has neglected to even mention on her behalf and her team's behalf what they did with the 3D model. Meaning that, yeah, this guy, it's not his fault what has happened to him. Melody silenced them, obviously, so they couldn't fight back anymore, and her career wouldn't tank. Right now, her career is tanking on that hentai site. I understand she's only pulling about less than like 200 viewers, and not enough donations to survive. So, yeah, after nearly 2.5 months, I realized I had some time to do Melody's project. I changed up the heart that would be no big deal. I agreed to do it, not Melody. Her manager had an actual idea of success. The whole thing would be, that's why I discussed it through contacts. Now at this time, Project Melody was a part of Sojo, and this means this was Gunrun and Project Melody. They were playing hand in hand with this, and maybe obviously her other managers. So yeah, I started out with the models discussion, but later transmitted into a full-time job paying no contract, with no paying contract. Meaning that he was making the model, he wasn't getting paid for it whatsoever. Project Melody was not paying her employee with any sort of type of income for his work. That's fucked up, and this is where the problem begins. I'll touch on that in a bit. Now, I concepted her assignment of clothing and body type and branding like in NT, but her model on my own. It was later introduction gave me Melody wanted purple hair, faded tips, with a banding of 1.5 and 1.5 months of work, including that things to deal with layer of clothing, multiple outfit combos, and even that of a few piece for viewers, meaning that Vtubers in the period of the time, that which was making building situations from scratch. Myself, Melody, and her manager with no experience with this, I knew we could or couldn't do, but very very enthusiastically, meaning that Melody made sure that no matter what, he was going to get it done in the time she wanted. She did not want him to do it any time later or any time earlier, or like with any form of decent, obviously, payment on a decent time, or just any amount of decent rest. Meaning that, oh my god, that is so messed up. Her bill at the end was 5.k USD. Frankly, there was an undercut myself to consider the skilled person working at $20 to $30 an hour for 1.5 months, over 8 hours a day. There was no weekend breaks, meaning that he was working 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, with little to no pay at the end of it, meaning that Project Melody literally just lowballed this man's art style into the ground. And here's the thing, when he said him, the manager, and another few artists, no. I don't think there was another few artists. I think the manager was hounding this guy constantly. I don't think there was any other artist or riggers for the model. It was one guy. This is what it's coming off like. Melody hounded one guy with her manager to get it done until it's literally was over. Meaning that Project Melody herself, him saying team members that were like obviously feel or identity in the artist scene, a part of her team. And then there was this guy, a manager in Melody, and two other people in contact, meaning that it was their normal manager, it was Gunrun, and it was Melody. Meaning that obviously they triple teamed this guy, gave off there was other artists working with it, and there was none, meaning it was a big manifested lie to work a young man to the bone to make an extravagant model with little to no pay whatsoever for his projects in time. Are you fucking kidding me? And people still worship her now even more than ever? I don't care how entertaining you are. I don't care how beautiful your model looks. If you don't treat people with dignity and respect, Mel, you are not going to be looked in a positive light. You work this man to the bone with little to no pay whatsoever for his services. You are fucked up. Now, 8 hours a day at the low end, the value of the work was over 8 pay, but they were, and the fact that Melanie was saving up the funding for the limits that made me feel so sympathetic. But again, Project Melody was paying off his sympathy towards this artist for obviously making sure he got the job done, probably giving him false promises, probably giving him obviously false love, false feelings of appreciation, false everything, make sure he gets it done as fast as possible. I didn't want to hit them with a big bill, even though the money of the project started and run this person's life incomplete due to that misunderstanding the cost. Complicated character model. Here's the thing with like models, right? The more complicated the design, the more rigging's gonna need. Like if you have wings on your model, you're gonna have to not only put them these days, not only in Vroid, like I do, you need to eventually put them in Blender to make the bones connect to the body appropriately. I have not done that. And then you gotta put it in Unity with that of obviously animations, proper rigging, proper lighting, touch up on color work as well that is already there. And that can, oh my god, that takes so much time that I don't have. And you got to put that through Blender and then Unity of a certain Unity, I think like 2019 Unity. And to obviously give it proper working animations. Oh my fucking god, you got to be freaking kidding me. And you want to have a tongue sticking out, and kind of like going, yeah, like that kind of stuff in a sexual manner. Like, you're going to have to rig that not only in Blender with the bones, but then put it in Unity to give it the animations. I kid you not, that is a fucking nightmare. And yeah. So, over many calls. So, yeah, so all that was just mentioned of, like, character model. They were quite transparent about the funds, and they felt the personality and responsibility for her future. I wanted to make sure it was a success. Meaning, they made it quite clear they were going to pay him, but they didn't. I was looking out when I saw obligated to, because I obviously wanted to support people trying to make something new. Let me be clear, like, Vtubing or the erotic version of Vtubing Melody does, anybody can do that in the flesh world, let alone the digital world. Heck, anybody can do that in VR chat back in the day. Anybody can do that in, like, an SFM animation from, like, what was it, that one Steam thing, right? If you got enough talent and time to make a video of it, there's so much you can do, but yet again, we're talking about Project Melody. Someone that doesn't have a high enough intelligence to realize that exists. Talks start about a partnership and a service deal. Meaning that after the project was done, more like there was some kind of service deal or project act, obviously to keep them on the team. How much you want to bet it fell apart faster than obviously Project Melody's last dildo? Almost the third week in designing and modeling the character, I was connected by Melody's team. The people who would later be that of Giga to talk about the deal of partnering. But yet again, the name of Giga is General Giga, right there. So let that be known. These decisions were mainly due to calls both her and her manager like the idea of coming together and making H streams, or as I'm going to be calling it, corn streams, obviously, for idols real. Meaning that this is definitely Giga, Gunrun, and like all this kind of stuff. It's really, really interesting. The corn streams were intended to be a multi-character cam girl company. Dojo. However, Giga's team eventually came to the conclusion that I wouldn't be involved with the adult content going forward. Meaning that he was promised talks of a sponsorship deal, and there must have been like some form of an agreement, and then they pulled back out of it. I mean, like there's some serious context. Now, Melody's not going to talk about this because she doesn't like to admit when she fucks up. You know, she's scared of the internet, she's scared of people, and she just wants to go like, haha, funny hentai girl, don't like any controversy. Stay out of it, please, or I'm going to obviously squash your balls out of existence. I'm going to hurt you. Yeah, basically. No wonder why I don't idolize her anymore after seeing this. We were open essentially to that contractors of VA agreement handling the technology and assets for the creation. It felt like this is the base on both of our situations. And to make it clear here, a service agreement paying another company to provide technology and assets through a private party that Melody would clarify rumors due to what was involved with Giga. So, yeah, yet again, there's a lot there. Transition to Melody's commission and Project Melody's manager. Yeah, so, oh my god, this is gonna go. So I had to get Ed Melody well to the point and trust them. And trust me, when I was trusted with the equipment valued with $4K US dollars shipped to me earlier in development, that which I had figured out worked in the demo videos, and Melody learned how to use it, and then later sent it all to Melody in order to protect the debut. Meaning that Melody had no previous knowledge, and neither did the teams of Sojo when it came to video work, Project Melody's model, obviously the erotic scenes and all this kind of stuff. And it's, oh my god, that's a lot to take in. And here's the thing I found out recently about Project Melody's hentai streams. Y'all need to be ready for this. All animations of her hentai streams are pre-recorded. Now, the only thing that is meant for the character to, like, obviously, as it's pre-recorded in a very special way, with a very special response capability. Now, the model normally doesn't speak unless Melody, because it's a pre-recorded almost instance, and then, like, the model moves, and somebody puts something in chat that obviously turns her on or brings her excited, and she can press a certain command for this special recording to obviously have her talk through the model, have the mouth move, meaning like all this is like, this is not a normal level of VTubing that she was a part of, or LootTubing. It was probably something so very advanced that nobody knows really it is. And even more so, it was part of a more of a high-end tech computer company that, and obviously the more so of a private high-end in rigging and computer programming technology for everything to work the way it is, meaning that Melody is playing off the hearts of millions for for so long. I don't think she's able to do pole dancing either. I've seen some of her stuff in the day, and she was able to do pole dancing with her model. She does not have the leg strength for pole dancing. That is a default animation that is put into the generated, obviously, video or live stream by a computer programming process. Now, it seems we're going to be working together in official capacity soon. I don't stop and to contact when handling good proportions overflow of the PR, meaning that add opportunities for Melody. I wish I was forwarding her manager and having discussions in Twitter DMs. And of course, Melody was succeed and trusted. The repayment that was coming that I didn't even realize, concerning myself with these hours spent on Melody's hours that were working on paid projects and burned out through my own savings. Meaning that if he was burnt out through his own savings, meaning that obviously he was denied all of it. He was denied any money for his work, and he had to burn through his own money for like things like groceries, rent, all that kind of stuff. And more than likely, he barely got anything in return, and he got used and abused and manipulated by Melody. I was getting talented friends involved with the merch who still work with her and modeling in the public Discord and CBR as well. Now, the public Discord she had is more of a private paid Discord these days. The one he's talking about is the one with all like, squirt sounds. I've known people that has been a part of it, and it is, oh my god, the erotic X sounds are like, it's kind of like what I did with the Rachel video on Twitter/X, but, I mean, not Rachel, but like the Sally Acorn, Nutclonian video on Twitter/X, but far more too much inclusive and direct and correct. I had my very close involvement looking after Melody's manager far beyond the norm and commissions. My future depended on it. Nobody cared on this level who trusted the information was 100% honest with the enthusiasm and the obviously dedication to earn me that. The trust was important because how things was developed and contracted. We didn't know how big this would be, and contracts we considered later. I first felt my trust with Melody compromised with situations later, meaning that obviously there was no contract signed beforehand, meaning that Melody and the team obviously gave this guy a whole bunch of false promises, and even more so false hopes, lied and manipulate with his feelings, and made him generally feel guilty if he wasn't going to meet up to the due date, meaning that obviously this was more than likely Melody and everyone that was a part of Vsojo's existence, meaning that all this was basically Melody and Gunrun and whoever else's decisions to use this man like this. Now, for 12 months, I was doing it without pay for 2 months. 2 months without pay. You know, take that in effect, 2 months. Meaning 1 month and 5 weeks, meaning that is practically over 2 months without pay. Somehow this guy still had to pay for everything he needed in his life. For the created random art assets needed, the stream content, flesh like her toys and more. At least half of these assets were an idea I came up with, meaning that she stole this person's ideas for their own and used them for her own success under a lot of disgusting things. Holy fucking shit, Dame. You took his ideas and didn't give him credit. What the fuck is wrong with you? I became live as tech support and I required that as stuff and running as well, and constantly on the production value of problems, explaining things such a simple rule as 3RDS, meaning like 3 rule DS. Like, I don't even know what that means entirely. I cannot understand that. Monitored streams and issues that chatted with her managers, sorted things live. I got my personal friend involved, their talent code, and even more so friends unable to create. I got Melody her mystic contacts and friends that actually do merch, meaning that how much would have bet all these items that he created, he didn't see any form of revenue coming forward from Melody's marketing teams, meaning that this guy was even screwed even more out of money. Oh my god, what the hell? Constituted and worked with the manager between Melody and her manager. The colder friends were constantly created a Discord developers to communicate. Research through that of the tech deal with nobody else with electromagnetic interference, vibrators, magnetic gyroscope, driven and tracking hardware and audio solutions. Let's take a look at that. So, meaning that every sound that you make on Melody's Discord, every moan, every sound, and even that of a gyroscope program to track some form of movement of your being when you're a part of her Discord. Meaning that when you are there, you are being monitored, you are being watched, you are being listened to, and Melody's being a huge freaking obviously creep of a female. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That is some of the craziest, stalkerish, horrifying shit I've heard on the internet. Some stuff I have been working on. She later did move and I left her. I know because when I contacted her vendor, she got it from. Meaning that she moved. This at the time she was living somewhere in America. She moved to Canada. Now she's in Japan. I made the hardware recommendation setup and even that tips to look out for issues. A modded only character, Nanako, allowed Melody to meet up with fans in VR chat, Sacrificial Lamb, Projekt her own model. It seems like she most likely updated the model and made it blindly just to have and ripped on it all day. Meaning that she, I think I know the model he's talking about. It's not malware. I think like Nanako may have been like that little like droid robot thing, you know, like a like little thing like that. Like she was, oh my god, she must have been like, oh god, no. Fixed world issues, polished with new features, modifications when it came up, including that as simple things like Twitch world, and even that she was changing poster due to copyright issues. Darling, if you had copyright issues with your backgrounds, you should have thought this shit through, and you should have mentioned it to your other artist friends if you had them. But I guess that really didn't matter to you. Created that renders that were solid pattern used over her content. So basically did a solid copy and paste over certain issues of imagery. Okay, yeah, sure, that works. What if somebody literally has an online software to rip that off like a goddamn band-aid on the internet now? Not really smart, are you? Modified art assets and rigging them to connect with her gaming chair like a friend coded it. Meaning, I bet it back in the day, if you use a certain type of software on one of her live streams, you'll be able to notice what is actually underneath the chair. Okay. Yet again, that's fucked up. Okay. This entire time, there was nothing paid. I was getting bigger fast. Melody's unable to provide evidence or pay sub of any expected time, or I make that of a jackrabbit, adding that in Melody's shirt of Faku, that which is her sponsor. Technically, that sponsor of Faku is that of the Joy Boy, not Joy Boy, but like anybody remember like Ghost Standalone Complex? Melody's obviously art of that design of her logo, of like that little logo with the spinning animation of words, is directly ripped out of Ghost and Shell Standalone Complex. Meaning that I know what that logo is, I know where it comes from, and even more so, it's not her property and she does not own it. Meaning that the company that literally made Ghost in the Shell can and should sue the shit out of her. And she's in Japan where that company's located right now. Meaning that, oh, she could be in a lot of trouble if they find out. Yeah. That one character that had that same logo that was a global hacker online in that show, Baku is literally the same logo from Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, and she could be in a lot of trouble from that animation company or whoever owns Ghost in the Shell now. That it is going to be getting, what I heard, like a new like movie or anime very soon, and Melody can fall into a lot of legal issues. Enjoy that, Mel. I did this because I was good at the terms and I thought I was going to be in agreement in the service deal since it was going well. The entire reason why Melody's team helped it. So yeah, basically, claiming they were going to help this guy, they were going to pay him, they were going to support him, meaning Melody's really fucked up. I wanted to reach a level of a service deal and for it eventually make me indeed that it reached to a point where Melody was making me appear with a 6-figure profits in a month felt otherwise, meaning that this guy was denied his money, his appropriate money, or any money. Service deal offered. So this is what they offered the guy, and looks like they may have not given it to him at all. Since Melody was the manager, since Melody and her manager didn't know what they needed, yada yada yada. They're already saying that didn't know what they needed for everything to happen and grow. They went with him, and then they went with the people outside with the actual salary. Meaning this guy who literally almost made just about everything. They denied him his payments, put it in another company to make it something different, and he got shafted so hard. Yet again, Mel, are you sure you're a legit good content creator to create the services that handle Melody's tech and even that of the budget of Melody's team that can execute and launch that of the that idols took developments, months of planning and prices and assets the lawyers proposed ready Melody's team, as well that of the proposal of other projects still worked for free. So he was forced to work for free by being lied to, manipulated, used, and even that of deceived by a woman's promises and a team of people's promises constantly. Now, this is not him obviously going like, well, I don't like Melody. No, this is me going like, I no longer like Melody and the way she comes off with other people. In the service deal that was $45K a month, so 3,000, 4,000 K American dollars per month, including that a multiple ranging of programmers to artists being paid for full competitive time and part-time, incident street salary, and on-call support, investment, R&D interactive experiences, including that of pulling me away from future projects of hers. Meaning like this was all thrown out. You never seen a dime, never seen any type of obviously R&D support. He didn't receive anything. He was thrown away. That's fucking horrifying. When I say it's not worth it to be in the VTuber scene, I'm gonna tell y'all it's not worth it, especially when a lot of other people do this to others to obviously for their own popularity and clout. This is also included that of plans of physical and audio studio, hoping that Melody and her manager will ideally recreate, and since the equipment is expensive, remotely extremely challenging, but nobody knows with her on actually how much this stuff about this stuff and when it breaks. Meaning nobody knew what they were doing. They were blind mice trying to make Melody's obviously career work. It was so much of a launch of new characters of that and Melody's end goal. The cost was a full team of new character development and not for me personally. Being like this guy saw nothing. It seems he also had his DeviantArt hacked. Meaning that Melody stole this guy's DeviantArt. During the entire time the DeviantArt was hacked and hijacked, I assume it was because some public figure involved that was targeted. But it's stolen my artwork, my downloads, and replaced doxing information of screenshots, emails, Melody's information exposed, including that of person working with her full name and involvement. Spent over 36 hours waiting for DeviantArt to return my account and make me deal with it with an attack on me, Melody, and her project. Later, the DeviantArt was deleted because that handling and returning to the profile wasn't interested, even in that everything that happened since the deal continued. So after he lost all that, and Project Melody was probably the one that had her team hack it and sabotage this man's Discord and make him look like one of the worst people ever. What? Darling, that's not going to work with me. I have many ways to fuck you up. And not in the good way. With this service deal, Melody took, and her manager took some of the time to come back. They did say due diligence found people that exact same thing, fraction of the price. Literally mean they found somebody else that can do the same thing as him, but with the fraction of the price. This guy never seen $1, meaning that she's I'm gonna put this as simple as possible. Having sweatshop workers working for her. Having children in a sweatshop doing this for nothing. And she's getting all the money and fortune when everybody else, maybe even her manager, are the only ones seeing money. And all of her artists and riggers and video editors do not get properly paid. The fuck, Melody? Right, I'm not sure if this was expecting the price much, so basically saying, yeah, this is what happened, what is delivered, yeah, so, copy of nature, however, delivered, there was major issues with the question, their angle here, or we had been working closely and honestly, possibly offering assistance for both analytics, and while at this point, yeah, we told the people we felt we'd be honest. Yeah, oh my god. No, and so I wondered, so this is like what happened, probably like, through the few months, yeah, these companies, the exact same thing existed from the start. Spent months of labor for Melody. Why did Melody approach me when nobody else was interested? I mean, the known companies were available in the fraction of the price, right? This means, obviously, this is conversation pieces between Melody, him, and the manager. Literally saying, hey, you know, yada yada, we found other people that can replace you, that can even do it for more free, not expecting any money in return. The fuck? You were already working this man to the bone for free, and now you go over here and go like this? Bitch! How many people provided involved at this point? I worked on and being that in most aspect of the project, knowing every project and technology. Melody has her manager ask questions, or quote, not savvy at all at this field. Maybe they need to ask us to start. So she not only went with a different company, she went with a different company for free that didn't even know what the fuck they were doing in the first place. There's a whole new level of competence! Why is this happening to me now, and it's growing fast in popularity with lots of money? Meaning that, oh, Melody was getting lots of money, she was very popular, and she, oh my god, she did everything so she didn't have to pay a fucking dime, a penny, a cent, a, obviously, 1 inch of a copper penny. Service deal fallout. Yeah, so this is like after everything must have fell out. I feel like I'm collected paid 3D character, yada yada. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. So like he's basically saying for 2 reasons this all fell apart. I will, after this live stream, leave this in the description of the live stream so y'all can go check it out. Reason 2, yeah, his bills were stacking up now. You know what that means? You starved this man to death. You almost lost his apartment, his home, whatever it is. He probably obviously had to sell his car and shit. I'm sorry. Are you sure you're a good person, you little bitch? I do not see Melody as a good person. When I first read this, everyone already found out, oh my god, she's just such a horrible, disgusting person that does not take responsibility for her actions. And she thinks she can get away with everything because going like, tee-hee, I'm cute, I'm sexy, everyone loves me, everyone wants to do me, no one wants to challenge me, tee-hee, tee-hee, oh my fucking god. Notice on this date how much we talked about a month later. I told Melody, frankly, in service deal, yet again, he's trying to negotiate, probably was turned down. Oh my god. Yeah, it seems like this whole part is about like, how the deal kept getting, the service deal fell out, kept falling out, and she didn't want to do what was right. A post, YFU launch, communications pickup. Oh, this is, I talked to Melody a long time working YFU. YFU was launched, being moderator of the public person on Melody. YFU got smaller Melody fan. Oh my god. So she failed to perform in the hentai industry. And it kind of comes off right now, yeah, she's blaming him when it was her own fault and her team's fault. We're supposed to back her up on this. I finally reported reach out to Mel's DM feeling that it was going on, eventually figured out she was towards YFU over to me. I know what that means, YFU. It's an acronym Y effing U, literally saying like FU basically. It's over me. No, basically, yeah. She's like, get over me. I'm not into men. I'm not into love. I'm not in relationships. I'm only into money, fame, fortune, and everybody else needs to earn in my obviously selfish desires in life. No, she is very bratty. Everything here shows how much of a brat Melody is. She is very much loved and adored by a lot of people, and I do expect when my Twitter is like back active in 12 hours, people are going to be raging at me. No, I know that. I know this is going to happen after this hits the internet. I'm going to be porting this over to YouTube. I'm going to make sure everything on this doc is there to have y'all understand. Yeah, Melody is not a good person. She's not a righteous person. She's not a responsible person. She's barely even a person. Oh my God. She's more broke than I thought. And like everything here, like second trade attempt with monetary value, meaning that he got no monetary value for any of his work. His second attempt failed. Wow, this is example one render made using. Yeah, so this is like some of the products he made for her. Conclusions. Oh my God. Giga was never a part. So General Giga was never a part of this. Someone was pretending to be Giga the entire time. Yeah, who would have thought? YFU was never a part of this, meaning like whoever this is was never a part of it either. Meaning that Melody used two different people pretending to be two of her friends and lying and manipulating. Whoever YFU was and, who was pretending to be General Giga, Projekt Melody just shafted you both and disrespected you both at the same time. Congratulations, you two who got used by her, and you allowed it. You allowed her to do this. She's not even a victim. Everything that has happened with her and V Sojo in her life is her fault. That is karma of the highest degree. She's not a victim. She's a victim of her own stupidity and poor decision making. That's it. She is not worth my time to waste. Now I'm going to make sure that clone literally probably gets the most, obviously, horrific, cruel death by Honoka you've ever witnessed. That can be done on YouTube. I'm going to be real. However, I do not wish Melody to have any trouble. Dude, this is more than enough trouble to literally let everybody know how horrible of a person Mel is. Right now from my end, I know how horrible she is. I know how messed up she is. And even more so, how she's not willing to change and be a good person. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. This is a lot. Like, there's a lot of links here. I don't want to go into those. Just please understand. Melody. Projekt Melody, everybody that thinks she needs to be loved and respected and filled full like somebody's like love and respect as well in her life, she does not care for it. She's a whiny little brat. She lies and manipulates about her friends. She literally does not pay anyone for their services, and even more so, she does not deserve any love or respect from anyone. She is soulless. She is selfish. She has no love and desire for anyone, probably not even herself. She probably doesn't even like her friends group. She probably doesn't even like herself. She probably even doesn't like her fans. Or she just doesn't want anything to do with anyone. She probably hates everyone, including the world, being a selfish, whiny little brat. No, just, oh my God. So, yeah, everyone, I will, oh my God. My Twitter/X is down, but I do expect after like this to happen, I'm and this is finally done, it's going to be on fire. Project Melody fans are going to come after me because I exposed the truth, and Melody is probably going to be pissing her pants right now and probably running in the other direction, saying, oh shit, I can't believe he did this to me. I don't deserve this. You know, she's going to try to go on the defense and influence her community to go after someone, aka me. Darling, you did it to yourself, and now, like, as I covered this nearly entirely, everyone, please understand, Project Melody is a horrible, disgusting person. She does not care about anybody except her, and she gets what she deserves. The screenshots? Oh, you can make a screenshot. Oh, okay. Okay, so, yeah, alright, so everyone, yeah. Project Melody. A massive, horrible troublemaker that is selfish, cruel, soulless, and is not interested in love, relationships, or anybody else's happiness other than her own. When I first looked at this thing, I realized one thing. Project Melody does not deserve the right to be a VTuber or the friends group she has. I'm going to go now, because there's just a few things I wanted to cover while obviously being on a live stream and tell y'all, yes, because of General Giga's dumbass buffoonery of her team, my account is locked for 12 hours. But please be expecting, like, the Project Melody freaks to be angry and mad and come after me right now because they think she's a good person when she actually is probably one of the worst people on the internet. She makes Nux look like a goddamn motherfucking angel. She makes Tectone look like a god. Stay on your hentai site. That's all you're good for. The rest of us don't want you on the other platform. Get lost, bitch. I'm done. Melody, go fuck yourself. Wait a minute, you do that anyways. No wonder why you can't get a man around that vagina of yours. Go yeetus deletus your data off the internet permanently.